What's going on, guys? Welcome to my how-to ramp series where I'm going to teach you all the basic quarter pipe tricks that you're going to need to learn as a beginner, or you guys might be trying to learn these tricks already. So today we're going to go over the rock and roll. This is the advanced version of learning how to rock to fakie. So if you haven't learned how to rock to fakie yet and you don't know how to kick turn in a transition, then watch this video here where I go over exactly how to learn how to rock to fakie and then come back to this video. But if you know how to kick turn in a transition and you know how to rock to fakie, then let's get into the rock and roll. So foot placement is going to be the same as the rock and roll. You want your front foot to be over the bottom two bolts of your front truck, and your back foot needs to be on the tail. And a lot of the weight is going to be on the tail over the back trucks here, so make sure you've got a good, nice, comfortable position here, because you're going to be doing a rock to fakie, but instead of coming into fakie, you're going to be kick turning out of that to come back into the ramp. So you're going to need just as much speed as you did for the rock to fakie. You need to be getting just enough speed to get the middle of your board up to touch the coping, and then you're going to return by kick turning back into the ramp. So if you go too slow, you won't be able to get your front wheels up over into the rock to fakie, and if you go too fast, you're going to be all the way up on top of the deck, and it's going to be a lot harder for you to rock and roll and kick turn back into the ramp if you're way too high up like that. So if you've got any roll-ins or little ramps at your skate park that you're practicing at, you can actually use that to learn how to do the rock and roll on top of the roll in there. So it's really helpful just to get the movement right and get the momentum and figure out how your body needs to move by using the roll-ins to do your rock and rolls. So the main thing you need to learn how to do is go up the ramp and do a proper kick turn. Once you're comfortable with your kick turns, we can start doing the rock and roll, because all it is a rock to fakie, but instead of going to fakie, you're kick turning out of it. So now you know the speed that you need and you're comfortable with your kick turns, we can start trying the rock and roll. The best way to learn how to rock and roll on a quarter pipe is going a little bit slower than what you think. Rolling up the quarter pipe, just letting your wheels lift up enough to get over the coping, tap your board as you're turning your shoulders, and then kick turn back into the ramp. So that's going to be the perfect way to start learning this trick. So you don't need to get all the way up to the middle of your board yet. That's what you want to work up to, but you can just start by getting your wheels over the coping, tapping, and then kick turning back out of it, just to learn how the rock and roll feels on the coping. So it's going to take a lot of practice to get the timing right. You're lifting up your wheels, you're tapping on the coping, turning your shoulders, and you're kick turning back out of it. So there's a lot going on at this time. So you're going to take a little bit of practice just to get this whole movement into one full motion. But the biggest key is going to be making sure you're turning your shoulders before you're initiating that kick turn out of the rock and roll. Because if you get up, rock, and then you start kick turning with your hips before your shoulders have turned all the way, you won't be able to make the full kick turn out, and you're just going to get stuck. So once you've got this down, you can start adding a bit more speed, get all the way up, lift those wheels over the coping, rock the middle of your board, and then get your shoulders ready to turn, kick turn out of it, and then you've done the rock and roll. So just like the rock to fakie, I personally like to get up onto the coping, middle of my board, and balance it. So my front wheels aren't touching and neither are my back wheels. I like to balance right on the tip of that coping there, turn my shoulders, and then kick turn back into the ramp. But just like the rock to fakie, a lot of people go up to the top, lift their wheels up, they stall on the middle of their board, but then they let their wheels touch the top of the deck, and then they kick turn back in. So that's completely fine too. I just personally like to balance at the top of it. If anything, letting your front wheels touch the top of the deck, it gives you a bit more stability, and then you can turn and come back into the ramp. But it's all personal preference the way you do that. So like anything in skateboarding, this is going to take a lot of practice to get the movement and the motion right. So if you can't quite pick it up at first, just go back to the fundamentals. Remember how to rock to fakie, keep practicing your kick turns, because it's just a mixture of those two movements. So that's all my tips for the rock and roll. But like I said, it's going to take a lot of practice before this becomes second nature, and you don't have to go over the steps again. You can just naturally go up, rock, and then turn back in. So practice and patience is going to be key for this one. So I hope these tips were helpful for you guys. If you've got any questions about this trick, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what trick you guys want to learn next, and check out the rest of the how to ramp series in this playlist right here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.